So the major roadworks are set to be completed in March. Are we still working with that deadline? And what's the latest with the water restrictions in the corporate area? They're the two most wanted men in Jamaica. I'm now joined by Communications Manager at the National Works Agency, Stephen Shaw, and Public Relations Manager at the National Water Commission, Charles.
When you say two most wanted, you mean in terms of eligibility?
Everybody, no?
Oh, just checking.
Well, we're going to have two most wanted men. Gentlemen, morning.
We choose the most preferred of the names.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
I don't even know which one I want to start with first. Charles, let me start with you. Because water is life and I've been killing people since last year. I mean, tell me really what's been happening, Charles. It's been hard.
We've been going through a pretty difficult period at the National Water Commission, and depending on the particular area in which you are, as a customer, you may have been severely impacted by some of the things. In the first instance, for the last 3 years in the corporate area, the National Water Commission has been undertaking a major re-engineering effort called our Non-Revenue Water NRW Reduction Program. It's a 5-year program, and unfortunately it requires that we do a lot of digging up, install a lot of new pieces of infrastructure, replacement of sections of pipelines. Essentially, we are redesigning the water supply network, which is about some 1,600 kilometers of pipes in the corporate area alone.
Okay.
So that's a lot of work. We were to be finishing most of the disruptive elements of that work. Then at the end, somewhere about the 8th of December.
It were to be finished when? Because it was a 5-year
That's
project.
a 5-year project.
And it started?
It started in 2015, so we'll be ending in 2020.
You hope.
But most of the disruptive elements, we are on track. Most of the disruptive elements were expected to be finished in the next 3 to 6 months. Okay. And then we would have been working to do most of the maintenance and troubleshooting and fine-tuning of the details in the latter part of the program. But persons would have been encountering a lot of disruption based on the NRW works. But then now we also have additional things, including the infrastructure development program that Stephen is in charge of, that has also impacted us. So the major break on the ferry pipeline on the 8th of December has taken some 10% of our water supply capacity away from us.
10?
Yes.
One time?
We lost access to about 5.5 million gallons of water that would normally be dedicated to serve customers in Duane Park, Patrick City, along the Washington Boulevard corridor, down into the Mullines Road areas, and Waltham Gardens, those areas, Olympic Way. Because we do not have that pipeline in place since December 8th, we have had to be transferring water from other water supply systems. So we established some schedule. The schedule has not worked as well as we wanted it to. And so even now we're doing some fine-tuning to implement a revised schedule to take effect tomorrow, so that persons will be more evenly served, and that those who are worst impacted will not be impacted for extended periods of time.
But in addition to that, you locked down Constant Spring last night.
Well, in fact, the lockdown at Constant Spring was to facilitate some a range of other works, including putting in place some valves which would enable us to more evenly shift the water around. So that work was completed last night. They are now in the process of having water restored to the system. So gradually customers served by that Constant Spring system, all in Constant Spring Gardens coming down into a halfway tree, would be seeing their water returning boat now.
We're going to get into the rejig schedule, but why?
Yeah, but time.
Stephen.
This interview should be an hour.
I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
Jump in quickly. I mean, I don't know where to start, Stephen. First of all, when you talk done? We said March. What are we saying now?
What we're seeking to do is to push through the greater portion of the activities by the end of March.
Okay.
And of course, that's subject to a number of variables. The projects will not be finished in March. I can say that right off the bat. And what I'm speaking about here are works going on along Constant Spring Road, along Hagley Park Road, and the Mandela Highway that Charles mentioned. The Mandela Highway, we're looking to have the 6 lanes possibly open up to the motoring public by the end of March, certainly, because where we are now, we're seeking to complete the final structure. That's a box culvert that we're building at Duhaney River. We have already completed half, and we are now pushing to complete the other half so that we can lift the road in that area and do what we now have on the westbound side, which is to, in some ways, we have 3 lanes open entering the Caymanas area. We want to have that on the eastbound side, which is the side heading into the city. But of course, we cannot do that until we are in a position to complete the works at the Duhaney River. As it relates to the Hagley Park project, the 2 overpasses are taking shape. We have roughly 104 girders. The girders are what connect those huge columns that you see coming out of the earth. And on that, we will place the deck, which will be the driving surface at the end of the process. So we have 104. We have completed roughly 50. We are ahead of schedule where that is concerned.
For Hagley Park?
For Hagley Park.
Okay, what about, what are you talking about, Mandela?
Constant Spring Road. Constant Spring Road, we're making steady progress. We have actually started putting down asphaltic concrete or Barber Green, if you may. We recently did that bit between Hillman Road and Mary Brown's Corner. And we're slated to put traffic on that bit of road by Wednesday or Thursday
Traffic
of this week.
already, sir.
Unofficially.
Yeah, yeah, going down the wrong side of the road and everything.
That's one of the challenges that we have along these corridors, just the unruly behavior of some of our citizens. We have not put any traffic on it. We still have some things to do, and you'll see heavy equipment working there. We have said to persons, we have demarcated areas that they should drive, that pedestrians should walk, and you know, we just have persons not conforming. I mean, I've seen TVJ, for example, carrying stories about what's happening at 3 miles and the Coburn Garden School and so on. We have actually designated areas for the children and the parents and the teachers to walk. But tell you what, the adults go there, they destroy the barriers and open up the whole place for all and
so
sundry.
what is the new timeline? If not March, what are we looking
Contractually, for the Constant Spring Road, we're supposed to be completing it by summer, June or July. The Hagley Park Road, contractually, we go up until about August. So we are within...
By the new school year, you're saying we should be...
should be well on the way to completing. When you look at all of these projects, especially the case of Constant Spring Road and Hagley Park Road, it's not just about road. It's about sewer. It's about water.
It's a whole heap of different... It's very involved.
Drainage, very involved.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, the kinds of work that persons for many years would have been clamoring for, that, you know, we integrate our activities. That's what we're doing here. So when the road is finished, you'll have a new sewer system along Hagley Park Road, for example. None exists before at this point.
Hopefully we don't have to go and dig it up
I think the challenge, Stephen, because I think people appreciate what the end result will be.
Yes.
And I think we agreed it's great. But I think maybe having all of it done at once
the same time.
is part and managing all of it at once.
Yeah.
Because I hear what you're saying about conformity, you know, but when you sit in traffic for 5 hours, rationalization gone through the window. So you're saying, and for the viewers that are watching, that March, August, some kind of ease will come.
As the months progress, you're going to be seeing improvements in the quality of work, and certainly the activities are being ramped up. And so we expect that persons will be singing our praises at the end of the process.
Certainly I sing on the praises.
Even equally important is what is put in place while the work is going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hear people calling about the inadequacy of signage, how haphazard certain things are on the road, accidents being caused. Just this morning there was an accident on Mandela, which you say has now been cleared. But people have died on Mandela. I mean, people are calling about, just how things are cordoned off and so on and so forth. Is it
The proximity to the large equipment.
to make sure that, people are safe while this is going on?
And we have taken on board all of those concerns. Modifications have been made, changes have been made. With respect to the signs, we have seen an improvement. What we continue to grapple with is the wanton destruction of these signs. People remove the signs, they use them for domino tables. People remove the street lamps, as the case of Mandela. People remove the circuit breakers, resulting in...
We're good that way.
No
matter what you put in, I think it's foolproof.
It's just
We're good that
a
way.
lot.
So there's a part we have to play, is what you're saying.
There you go.
Yeah, gotcha. Sir Charles, what are they?
People want to bathe, sir.
Yeah,
with a shower.
Well, as Stephen
Don't be
indicated,
ambitious.
the March deadline, we expect that we will have the replacement pipeline to make up for the loss of that 18-inch pipeline by the end of March, as coordinated with NWA. It is indeed a collaborative effort, because what we will be doing in the case of Mandela, for example, is to be able to retire or abandon the existing old infrastructure and turn to new infrastructure, which would provide us with significant improvements in our ability to deliver service. And in all of the projects being done by the NWA, we're collaborating to make sure that we put in the water and sewage and water-related infrastructure, so that at the end, you not only end up with wonderful new roads, but you end up with also much improved water infrastructure.
So the message is pay now, progress later, right? So just hang on, people. We're working on it to get it done. The revised schedule, you want to tell us? What should people be looking on for
we
water?
have essentially made some changes in the schedule. We will be publishing on our website and making available in releases to the public. But it essentially seeks to fine-tune. It's not a major throwing out of the old schedule, but to make sure that more persons receive the water within the times that we estimate that they will get it.
Can you or is it too long a list?
Yes, it's a rather long list, but I might be able to tell you that, for example, whereas some parts of Havendale and Chancery Hall, we have made sure that that water supply system is set so that from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. daily, persons in sections of Havendale, Havenmead, Smoky Vale, Hydra Drive will be able to receive their supply, whereas we will be using water from that system to assist in service to other areas. In a similar way, the Forest Hill system, the lower sections, coming down into Meadowbrook Estates, Perkins Boulevard, and those areas, Queensboro, along to Abbeville Avenue, going towards Patrick City, those areas will be supplied primarily between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. daily, and again between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Patria, take note, because you're in the Haney Park, so the Haney Park
Indeed.
area. Okay.
The Constant Spring system overall, we expect most persons served by the Constant Spring system in Constant Spring Gardens, Upper Mannings Hill Road, upper sections like Valentine Gardens, Red Hills Road, upper sections, those areas should be receiving water from 10 p.m. Nightly through to 10 a.m. daily. And the other sections of the lower Red Hills Road, the lower sections, would be receiving from 10 a.m. through to the 10 p.m. So it's trying to make sure that persons receive some water supply service near normal between for about a half of the day. Please recognize that water supply does not travel as easily or as quickly as, let's say, electricity on the mains.
The grid.
So it will take time for different areas to receive the service. So while we will turn the system to serve a particular community, at the times we indicate, the customers are likely to begin to see their service gradually come on, an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 or 4 hours after we have actually begun to do the scheduling.
Come on, you're not done, because some of them are 4
No,
hours
3
span.
hours gone out of it. Yeah.
And that does have a problem for us, because in some cases, persons say the water comes for a very short time.
Get a tank,
but
people.
it's also because your other neighbors, especially those lower than you, would also be drawing off.
Of course. But
so while they're filling up, the system is not being charged to have the water reach to you. So we expect some challenges, but we ask persons to work with us.
Buy a tank if you can. Catch
Please
the water when it comes, because, man, I see people yesterday.
The wet wipes bathing no good.
It's rough. But thank you, gentlemen.
There is
for
better
coming in this morning. Website, check the website for more information, which is?
nwcjamaica.com.
And you will be sending out updates via social, Twitter?
Social media, press releases, and of course we have our Facebook page and our website.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. When it's all done, you deserve a vacation. Communication Manager at the National Works Agency, Stephen Shaw, and Public Relations Manager at NWC, Charles Buchanan.
Day 4 days, look at this interview like, what's happening in Portmore? Should we even go there?
No, me have a tank, you know. Me sorry for Portmore, but me have one hurricane come. I went to buy a small one. The man says only a big one him have.
Thank
God was
for that
good
man.
to me. Yes.
All right, when we get back, we have a few secrets to a blooming love life.